Alright, hello everybody, and welcome to Aracnae Plays Mechanicus Heretic. This one, it's pretty fun. I was always very interested in it, mainly because it's 40k, and I really do love 40k. That is one of my main hobbies, and I've always been a fan of tactical games, and, you know, taking control of your whole army and squad was always very fun for me. So I've already played the base game of Mechanicus. I've got about like 3/4 of the way through the campaign. I was playing on medium difficulty and it wasn't too strenuous, honestly. It may be on account of the fact that it was on medium difficulty and they mainly intended it for medium difficulty to be more for your average player. But there were definitely some difficult situations, even in medium difficulty. I did have a few head scratchers here or there. So I hope we're going to try out a new campaign this time and put on hard and see how we go. In case you aren't aware as to what exactly 40k Mechanicus is, I'll go too deep into the lore, as the lore itself is a convoluted mess, and if you really want to know, there are dozens of channels for that. But essentially, we are going to be playing as a robotic cult that worships a machine god, and we have found an alien planet, and we are looking to deprive it of all of its resources to better serve the Omnissiah, that's the name of their machine god. In order to do that, the game takes place as a tactical turn-based it's akin to XCOM, I would say. One of those top-down things where you have your squad with different abilities, weapons, and such that you outfit them with beforehand, and your goal is to survive, kill off the enemies, or reach certain objectives on the map. It does, what is interesting, the thing that sets it apart from regular XCOM, is that it has a bit of a dungeon crawling aspect. You compare it to Darkest Dungeon in the fact that there is a map that you go along, you choose which rooms to go down, and as you go through those rooms, a passive timer keeps track of how long you've been in the dungeon, steadily increasing the difficulty. And as you go along, you get rewarded. So there's the cost benefit there. But enough with the basics there. I think it'd be better to understand if we were just in the game. So we're gonna start a new one up here. Probably not going to go very hard. I did a normal campaign. That one was pretty easy. So let's try and hit it up with hard mode. We won't need the tutorial. Let's go with the tutorial so everybody can see what's going on here. And for fun, let's go Iron Man and permadeath. And we won't customize the difficulty. I want to have it as, you know, dev intended as possible. So I'm gonna. Recall how much is in this cutscene, but I'll be a little quiet here in case something pops up. Well, there's your brief introduction into the lore. What I do, what I do like about this game is, while it's more of like a dipping your toe into the 40k universe, because there is a lot in there. This serves as like you could say testing the waters to see if you are interested in the lore or not. You could just be interested in the aesthetic and the gameplay itself. Because as you can see, just by looking at the keywords in this, there are plenty of things you could spend hours upon hours researching and learning everything on. Not to mention the dozens of books that have been written. But yes, as I was saying, the gist of it. We are here to go around and save mankind by stealing technology. Echoing the news for Magus, an old transmission lost in the warp and recovered only now. So worthy of our attention, the Great Divide torments the galaxy. The resources of the Adeptus Mechanicus are stretched thin. This guy looks really weird. I don't know, this is a very impressionistic version of them, I guess. It's very soft colors. Very interesting. Always did want to learn how to paint. Painting, it's just whenever I watch people actually going about it, I realize the vast amount of techniques and practice that is required, and it's like, yeah, I don't really have the time to do that. And here we are, 4 months later, the classic time skip. Let's see where we're going now. Magos Resak last log entry. Here's your intro to the planets and what's going on here. Whoever finds this transmission and follows me here, give thanks that you will see what I have seen, but be wary, my fellow seekers of knowledge. Whatever lies beneath this world, I fear. I hope I have awoken it. I hope. Oh, noes. He's evil. I come to this world to investigate its ruins, but I have found so much more. Terrors, yes, that's the body and soul, but by the Omnisci, I have found such wonders. Ooh. The last transmission of Magos Rasak, he vanished while on an exploratory mission to investigate xenostructures on Silva Tenebris. Scavel is one of my favorites. I really love how just sarcastic they are. And I do think, in terms of just, respecting the lore, it's very interesting, the voice acting, and how it really does fit into the idea that the Mechanicus, they aren't really people I guess, technically they are people, but they are mostly machine and such. And as such, their way of speaking has become almost unintelligible. Let's just go through here. Here's the target coordinates. Oh, and yes, the soundtrack. Mwah. For this game. Absolutely amazing. Weapon cache venturing in the void, sending services calling the breach. Oh no. Warp storm, data lose, data loss. Well, it appears something terrible has happened. It's the eastern fringe at the planet of Silva Tenebris. Let's get that mouse pointer. Let's get that mouse pointer to the corner of the screen so we can see this glorious ship popping out of the warp here. Now, I am curious as to the full extent of the Heretic DLC and what that changes, because I know that it does add a lot of unit types, weapon types, and a small mini side story. So I definitely do want to know exactly how that works, because the units look very fun. Let's see here, temper, climate, atmosphere, standard, and breedable. My Skitarii troops should be able to operate down there without trouble. Landfall. Are they ready to dive? As soon as we're in stable orbit, Magos. 2 centuries since they heard from this colony. Well, that's interesting. Don't think anyone's run to grab the mail anytime soon. Probably not. Just to serve as my eyes on the surface, we shall make landfall at once. Yes, throw the small head in the ring. He'll be fine. Here we are. The Agrolach sector has been located. Brutalist and oppressive. It appears abandoned, but something lies beneath. Let's see here. Tomb structure. The sword of the Omnisci is ready to fall. Let's go take it over. And this guy, Videx. See, I don't know about Videx. Sometimes he seems pretty decent, but other times he's got an interesting viewpoint on things, as do most people in the 40k universe. that is not really up for debate. But in comparison to the other people in the Mechanicus, he's certainly the oddball. Tell him to find and hold the perimeter in case of the unexpected. You can already kind of see some little red boys off in the corner over there. I wonder what that could be. Dominash did the mission in person from the command throne room. Yes, you told us he'd be our eyes and ears. We remember. Yes. I remember the controls. This game is fairly simple one in terms of controls, because they really wanted it's more the what's the word? More focusing on the tactic itself than learning a lot of keybinds. Although you can, like any tactical shooter, but I typically like the point and click, just to be sure that you don't, misclick and totally screw over a mission. Oh, these ones are very interesting. These are sort of the choose your own adventure section of the game. You are presented with an event, and you have 3 options to choose from that can have beneficiary, damaging, or just sort of what's the word? I keep wanting to think of a word with an N. I'm sorry. Just nothing essentially happens. More of a, oh, that was curious. Then you guys move along. Let's see here. It's an obelisk-like object covering what can only be described as hieroglyphic symbols. It almost reaches the tall ceiling of this chamber. That's pretty gigantic. Secure, scrounge. This is a monument to the alien must fall. Well, you dropped off. Well, let's take this kind of like what the Mechanicus would do. They definitely want to figure out what the hell is going on here. But we at the same time don't want to spend too much time in an odd tomb. So I think this one would take the most time. This is probably the fastest, but it could probably piss some people off. This could give us some interesting insight as to what we're facing. Let's look at this, see what we can find. Massive energy spectrum inside the tomb. Something's happening in there. Something huge. Oh no, we pissed something off. Blackstone, request collection immediate. Oh, look at that. Nearly get a closer look at the obelisk. It seems to react to the cohort's presence. The obelisk splits open and a powerful, painful wave of exotic energy spills out. Inside are clustered formations of a rare-looking material. Look at that. Free money. Blackstone will function as the basic currency for the game. You use that to summon troops, pay for upgrades, and pay for repairs after a mission. So let's go in here. Let's just trundle along down our dungeon path and see what we find in here. Oh, dialogue? Necrons. Didn't count them after all. No wonder he didn't make it off this planet. Every datum we have says they are as deadly as they are inhuman. Core and Kai's visions form Xenos constructs, not flesh and blood creatures, but artificial bodies that move with precision and coordination. Caution, extreme caution, do not charge into heedlessly lest the treachery of the alien be our downfall or consistency. It shall be done by the book. I am a fan of doing things by the book. The book was written for a reason. Come will be drawn according to the long-established tenets of the Adeptus Mechanicus for good or ill. Look at that. See, I'm not too much of a gambling man. I do like my Zane. But sometimes you gotta play it safe, right? You gotta take the slow and steady route. Confirmed. Redditus cogitators are now function for synthetic forms. Some of the words in here take a second to read. Overwhelming excitement. Finally, we can study this standard construct. Necron warrior. Weak spots detected. Plus none. Equals concerning. Let's see here. I wonder what the symbols emblazoned on the torsos. It's torsos. Do not underestimate ghost weaponry. Highly volatile. Brothers Mechanicus have lost their lives trying to solve the mysteries of the Xenos weapons. Approach with caution. Well, I'm sure plenty of people have died investigating the weapons because I doubt they want you to look at them. Double checking cogitators, or I know they will self-repair, reanimate, or reconstruct. And here you have one of the main gimmicks in this game. Whenever you kill off a Necron warrior, unless you destroy the body, then they will reanimate in a set number of turns. And depending on how many you down, it can get a little spicy because each unit normally only has one attack per turn. So you could quickly get overwhelmed. Class C graze to a Necron. Top pitiful. Let's see here. Validate. What's the side location of your units? Yes. We have our ranged buddy boy over here, and we have our magos. Melee and then ranged boys. So let's go ahead and put our ranged boy. I'm gonna go first. But we aren't really sure as to what exactly is going on with these guys. I'm gonna put you over here. Actually, no. We should put the ranged guy over here. And the melee guy behind cover. So we can get a straight run over at him, and then we can probably use our ranged guy to shoot him from across the area. Decline the movement, simply right click. Let's see here. So let's go ahead and use our servo skull. Faithful servant of the Omnissiah. Yes, they have their own servo skull. Yes, validate. So now what these little buddies are for is they can be used to check up and reveal stats on enemies, or they can be used to collect cognition points. Cognition points are used for weapon abilities or basic abilities, and for extra movement. They are a very important resource, but they are kind of tricky to grab in certain cases. It is important to reveal enemy stats, though, because, as you can see here, they have armor. This guy has 1 energy armor. As you can see what he's saying right here, reveal HP, physical armor, energy armor statistics. You can then decide what weapon types, physical or energy, work best against this target. So because he has an energy shield, we kind of... Oh, actually, we're actually fine, because as you can see with the yellow, this means our weapon does physical damage. We can't kill him unless we crit. Okay, yeah, see, we're just out of range. So we're going to want to... we can probably make this, yeah. Let's just walk a little closer. You must move your priest to source. Okay, yeah, he's going to go ahead and grab it. Yes, go right. Just telling you to look at cognition and go and grab them. And you can see right here, we have a pretty small gauge. It is upgraded over the course of the game as you complete missions and such. And it is important to prioritize upgrades for it, because some weapons cost like 2 or 3 cognition points to use. And as such, it would take your entire... Oh, that doesn't cut its cover? Well, that's certainly not fun. But it had to be done. So because we got a cognition point there, I can come over. Yes, move. Yes, I'll use my cognition point. As you can see, we have a little gear above our guy with a -1. Oh, look at that. Even triggered as he walked over. So, that was a free cognition point. Because the blue represents your move that you can move without spending a cognition point. You can move as far as you want as long as you have the cognition points for it. So having good ways to keep a cognition point economy is pretty important. Now watch this guy probably have the physical armor. So that was an example of, you don't know the statistics, you don't know how much damage you dealt, but the damage was done. So we can go ahead and check up to see. Yeah. So we kind of position. Well, I mean positioning wouldn't have helped either way. We're just gonna have our guy right here. Unfortunately, oh, it's okay. We had energy armor, so he didn't do that much damage. Because the enemy weapons vary in what damage type they deal as well. So some enemies will deal physical damage, some enemies will deal energy damage, and you can give your tech priest armor to negate that. Armor doesn't go away; it stays. It's just a passive negation of damage, so you can kind of cheese some of the later fights that way. Yes. Now we can deploy some buddies. So seeing as... Let's see here. I'm gonna want to put a servitor over here so that he can smack this guy. How much does the deal 1 to 2? Unfortunate. Not exactly an ideal amount of damage if we're being honest here. But let's go ahead and pop a servitor right there. So at least he's going to block the damage that the Necron Warrior is going to do. Okay, troops have units control. Tech priests are troops. Yes, tech priests are more important than troops because you can replenish troops at the end of every mission. Tech priests are more important though because you get them very rarely and you upgrade them over time. So if one of them dies, that's a lot of resources lost. This will not be overlooked, of course. And there's plenty of builds you can do with tech priests. Damage absorbed. That was 50-50, but it was definitely worth it to use. Let's see here. Machine spirit. We haven't gotten the full machine spirit yet, which is unfortunate, but not unexpected. We're gonna go over here. Machine spirit. You can see on the right side of that box there. It gives your weapons an extra effect. Be them reduced cost, extra damage, and there you see the Xenos. Yeah, it's reanimation protocol. Go in, kill them, press the enter button as you're done. Yes, and there are plenty of ways to... There are some abilities that let you cheese out machine spirits easily. There's some canticles that actually give you machine spirit freight triggers. Let's see here. 1 damage. Hey! 3! Dude, we take those. Okay, that's a freak out. And once you finish them, once you eliminate all the threats, assuming there is no objective like get to X position or destroy X object, then the mission is finished and you don't need to kill people in reanimation. You can bet on that happening in certain cases. However, I've been punished many times thinking you just gotta kill them, and all of a sudden it's like, no, you do actually have to go over here and get this. So it's one of those cost benefit things. It's like, okay, we could finish the fight off fast, and we minimize the chance for you know, damage, or we could take it a little slower to maybe take a little more damage, but we won't have a random sprint at the end trying to finish everything off, right? Yes, HP amount that carries over between missions. And you can see over there our final goal. So let's go ahead and continue down the tunnel, making our way downtown. And these little exclamation points are events. These events will, it's just like that obelisk that we touched before. Things will happen, and you get a little bit of dialogue between characters. So it's always fun to, if you have the time to go out of your way to go and check out something. See, in the chambers ahead are several groups of structures like upright coffins of an unknown material. Not sure if we want to touch them. I'm going to play it safe because those things, if the way they describe them as upright coffins, I'd rather just burn them. Open the fire on the sarcophagi. The structures prove all but impermeable to normal small arms fire, but components of the strange necro materials are stripped away and can be salvaged by the cohort for examination and repurposing. Look at that! We destroyed their monuments and got money. That sounds like pure value to me. With that 340, we should be able to get a tech priest upgrade or two at the end of this, so we can start personalizing our guys. A tile underfoot clicks. Sound of whirring energy builds up around your troops. Equipped Omnispec scan reveals you're surrounded on all sides by Xenos life forms. An ambush. That shouldn't be too bad though. I have faith. Which is, I guess, is kind of interesting considering these are tech priests and such. Unintended, but actually a thing. Let's see here. So it looks like this is a path. There isn't a little square here, so there's no cover on this side. There's no cover anywhere, actually. This is kind of really ugly, and I don't know where. This is the only spot for cognition points. I have a really bad habit of calling them cogitation points. So because of that fact, let's kind of stay back for a bit. Well, actually, we have 4 cognition points anyway, so we don't really want to wait. Well, I guess at the very least we can start off with some servitors. Just get some meat shields out in the open. Yeah. Because at this point in the game, we don't really have any weapons that require cognition points. And, you know, for now, I really don't want to get closer to them. I want to bring them over to me, so we're just going to play our turn. We're just going to do that. Let these guys go first. You're the ranged persons to go over here. Grab yourself some cognition points. And let's see what we're looking at over here. What have we got? Oh, boy. That guy is going to be very icky for us to deal with, considering... Do I have any canticles? No canticles. Considering we only deal physical damage? Oh, no! Phosphor Serpenta. CP to use. Ah, here's our energy weapon. So... what can we do here? Well, we definitely want to bring him over to us, because it's going to take us... Jeez. 2 hits to kill this guy. And we only have enough for really 1. So let's just go ahead and take our time, reveal this guy's stats. Okay. So we definitely want our physical gunner to go attack that guy, and we want our good old... What is this guy's name? Oh, well, I can't see him. He's not on the turn order yet. Yeah, that is a fun thing about the servitors, is you get some extra cognition points whenever they're hit. Because as the little servo skull there said, oh, these little portals look like something could pop out of them. So that's not fun. Let's swap this around because you want to keep your guys alive for as long as possible. Okay. Well, that didn't work as much as I wanted it to. But we still have these guys coming closer. Let's continue the waddling of the big boys. And these guys are pretty much worthless over here, so I'm just gonna create a pile of flesh, head it that way. Then we'll have a servitor in the middle here. acting like a body shield. There we go. That is what I was afraid of. Let's see here. Oh, you can still see them in between. What are those? Indeed, what are they? Must obtain. Required. Scarabs. No life forms detected. Area safe. Continue forwards. Reddit is fair. Verify your cogitators. Scarabs are unknown Xenos race. AI theory goes false. Okay, they're not intelligent. Personal recording. Weeks of study shows there are many variants of Scarab, each with their own worlds within the Xenos economy and architecture, able to build and deconstruct anything they encounter. They're able to repair other units within their species with lightning speed. Be warned, they're deadly in large forms. Yeah, these guys bite, nibble, and they have acid, which does damage over time. And that is never very fun. Because, especially early on, it takes a little bit to actually get reliable healing. So we may be in a little bit of a wee bit of a pickle while we wait for these guys. I'm going to take an opportunity attack. So we'll have you sit here. Let's have you walk over here. Go ahead and smack a room of these guys, because he can eat a hit here. And we definitely want to take out these scarabs before they actually get a chance to do anything crazy. Now then, Apprentice Jeremiah. Let's have you hop over here. And we're going to pray for medium. There we go. Good hit. That takes out that issue. And 2 to 4, so he's not useless, and we definitely do want to get him closer. So let's go ahead and pull him over here. He'll have cover this way, and we are closer. And we only need 1 turn to get our cognition points. I can shoot him from over here, and he's probably going to go for one of these servitors, or maybe the one over there. So we're totally fine with that. If we get a juicy crit, nah, that's pretty decent though. What can we take? My Manarius could probably tank an extra hit. You know what? It's been a hot minute. I don't know if this counts as cover from this one, but he's probably going to shoot us from over there. But if he shoots us, then that means our servitors are fine. So I'm fine with this. Let's pop over here and see how this works. Nah, gonna try and go for the kill. Yeah. Oh wow, that was a max roll. Still free cognition. Servitor 000001 has died. Oh no. It's more of just like an unfortunate happenstance than anything. Alright, we'll kill you off so that our next servitor can move along for free. I want to do that. I had to do that really because if I moved, it was more than likely that I would be killed off. Okay, so confirmed. The little side things don't count as cover. Unfortunate that it had to be tested that roughly, but at least it was done. Right, science was conducted, and I will know for later on more dangerous missions wherein that could prove really fatal if we didn't know. I'd rather do this where we have a pretty chill situation. We'll have this servitor act as a body blocker. Hello? Yeah, oh, there we go. Actually, hold on here. We're gonna hope that axe can probably finish him off, because if we low roll, actually it was like 2 to 4 damage, I think, so we should be fine. Oh, well, in worst case scenario, we'll get the cognition point. So unless the weapon goes on cooldown, we're totally fine. And I don't think the weapon goes on cooldown. Look at that. Yeah, we're fine. Let's go over here. And a little warning thing. Yeah, 4 to 6. We're fine. One thing to be aware of is once you're within range of an enemy, what happens is you're within range. I mean, like in melee range, so like right next to them, your ranged weapons become unusable. So it becomes a interesting give and take where you have to be wary of being what's the word? Being crowded around with your ranged units, because enemies can. Oh wow! See, the freaking on opportunity attacks, these guys are deadly, but like on everything else, they're pretty weak. I mean, I'll take it for sure. Free fire damage. I ain't complaining. But, unfortunate. Yeah, it becomes an interesting thing. You want to keep your ranged units within, firing lines. But you also have to keep people near them in case they are, ambushed. Because if they are ambushed, then there's really nothing that they can do, and they're going to get chopped down and slaughtered. If it's 1v1, there is a little equipment piece we will get later that is useful for just knocking enemies back by one step. But we do need to, you know, roll it on our missions and see if we can grab it. Negative send hostile forces. Permission authorized. Primary focus. Any form of data on how rock. Secondary source of the purpose of the tomb. Why it was built. Interface devices all but eroded. There is one device that may hold answers, but Necron data looms are incomprehensible to Imperium Archaeotech. This might take a while. Well, at least he's honest. I can appreciate that, you know? He didn't try to puff himself up and be like, nah, get this in a jiffy. Lore. New spheric interference. Disconnected at once. Purge, reset. Possible scrap code. Will fragment now. Fragmenting. Yeah, scrap code. That is another deep lore thing that you will know about from earlier. Ooh, I'm actually interested if that plays into the Heretic DLC. We'll see. We'll actually have to see how that works. Fragmenting. Explain. Oh, he's busy trying to figure himself out. As Tech Acquisitor Scavel suddenly left my cogitators glitched. Augmentations as Tech Acquisitor Scala left, suddenly my cogitators glitched. That's how you read the sentence. That's how you read English. Augmentations entered sporadic reaction particles and a fried vital sign regitor is unclear full damage report. Necron device is not activated, sir. Fragmenting. Oh, he's loaded. He's thinking. Oh no. This guy is in too deep. It was never meant to get this far. Reports, tremors vex the locals. Oh no! We've started something. Oh.
I wake with the turning of aeons. Stars yet to burn, life yet to blossom. Is it truly time?
He's awake. An omni-linguistic transmission, Magos. It seems mute constructs aren't the only inhabitants of the structure.
What is this? Flesh and steel combined. A mockery of both. Their every footstep a blasphemy.
That's
what
rude.
What manner of galaxy is this into which I have awoken?
Let's be honest, we've all been there. We all wake up some days and you look around and you're like, something ain't right. Let's see here. Designate Xenos Abominatus. Oh, wow. Neither of us are very polite to one another today, are we? First layers of the Xenos ruins, bridges stretch from balancing platforms barely holding themselves together, while rubble falls from the high walkers like breadcrumbs escaping into the abyss below. Well, considering there were earthquakes, we lost contact with our troops at the entrance, and we don't really know what the hell's going on, and there's some random speaking Xenos. And we only sent a scouting force. Let's fall back. Let's play it safe. I concur, Magos, but I fear this foe will not give us leave to depart.
Insects. This galaxy is infested with vermin.
How can we be vermin? I'm not a rat. I'm a human being. I have rights. Or not really, because we're mostly robot, so... Oh lord, tech priests must escape. I'm sorry, poor servitors. This is the final battle of the tutorial. Apply what you've learned so far and strive to obtain victory. 41st millennium is a brutal place. You may lose this battle, but not the war. In Mechanicus, there are many alternate paths to discover. So that's the game telling you. It is... Oh, Christ. Ah! He's in front of us. Ah! Oh, Manarius. This is not looking very good for you. Void Admiral Agrolech. What can we do here? So, we definitely need to commit to a side. Okay. Manarius and Jeremiah. I'm kind of glad that we at least start off with 3 cogitation points. Oh, it's a cognition. I tried to fix myself and ended up making that way worse. Ah! That's okay. We're going to want to hold off with summoning our servitors because as you saw in the last fight, they're kind of slow. So we definitely don't want to summon them and have them be left behind because they are valuable meat shields. Let's go and turn. And we got a free cognition point from that. Let's go ahead and burn one, and we'll grab a cognition point from over here because we're not going to walk over to grab one of these. So there's free resources right there. I kind of want to bait the Void Admiral out because he is at the crossroads here.
I sailed the void.
I fought the Void Heaven. Oh, you can't. Oh, you can click to skip the audio. Okay. Alright, I thought you couldn't flip it at all. There we go. That's what we were looking for. Ah, okay. So now this is the interesting part. I think we're going to want to summon the servitors next turn. So let's see, how many cognition points can we burn? I want to burn one and grab one. There we go. Okay. So now let's pop over to this guy because he'll be within melee range of us and he can't shoot us then. Oh, there we go. Let's pop over here. Well, let's see here. Having you in melee range isn't that bad because no, this guy can't shoot at us. But I am wary of Senior Void Admiral over here. I don't know if this staff of his can be used for range. Probably not, I wouldn't think. Applying my Warhammer 40k knowledge into this. I'm assuming that he doesn't have a ranged weapon, just by the looks of it. Although, the lore can be a little fuzzy and sometimes it can work. It can be like, oh yeah, no, that is totally a ranged weapon because it fires a laser. So what we're going to do, we're just going to pop over here, snag a cognition point, run over this way. And we know he could get over here last time. So we're going to want to walk over here and snag a cognition point for Menarius down there. And we're going to enter. Now Menarius is just going to flat out sprint. I think we may be able to quick cheese this. See, this is the power of cognition points. Can't exactly get all the way there. We are going to bet on him not having a laser weapon. He should be able to see us.
How dare
they stand before the Void Admiral? Well, because you kind of ambushed us, man. We were just looking around. We were simple pilgrims. That's a little spicy. Alright, we should be fine. Okay, yeah, look at that. Not even a worry. And now the only question becomes, does he have opportunity attacks? Because that could get icky. Very icky. But we go over here, and we are fine. Alright, Menarius. Let's have it pop over here. Very cognition point. Can't quite escape. But you can get close. I think this may be the end for Menarius yet. Unless we get a cheeky miss here. Whew, yeah, no. Very unfortunate. But that was probably the best we could do, because if we stalled trying to fight that Necron anymore, it probably would have gotten ugly. Would have gotten very, very icky. So certainly not ideal, losing a tech priest this early, especially with permadeath. So these next few missions are going to be very, very interesting, because I actually don't know when we get our next tech priest. So this campaign may be totally screwed, but this will be fun. We will see exactly how far we can push this. Validate. Yeah, there's our global presence thing. If this thing gets to 100%, then the game is over. And as the thing progresses, and as our efforts in the campaign progress, we'll unlock more areas, more enemies, and just blow up the campaign a bit. You know, get you lots more options, but also more questions will come about. Let's see here. One of the largest in the Imperium. There's only afforded to the Adeptus Mechanicus. Customize, yes. I won't go through all of this here. Oh, look at that! Manarius lives! I'm assuming that they just left that through just for the tutorial, because we do have Iron Man and Permadeath on. You saw me click him. So I'm gonna just take that as the game giving us, you know, a little tap on the shoulder and being like, "It's all right, man. We're here to help you out," and I will absolutely take it 1000%. So that was the intro to Warhammer 40k Mechanicus. We'll go along with the campaign, see how it all works out. Hopefully the next few missions go a little smoother. I'm pretty sure we'll be able to learn how the enemies play and how to work around the increased enemy deployments and damage, and we'll get a little taste of that spicy Heretic DLC. So yes, please like the video if you enjoyed it, and remember to subscribe for more content to come, and I will catch you guys next time. Later.